You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, it's Jessie. How y'all doing out there tonight? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. If you don't buy that one by now, I got nothing for you. No, I'm serious. If you don't buy that one by now, I mean really, how many times do I have to tell you I miss you when we're not talking? All right. What is going on? Well, I think the world is kind of holding its breath. Why do I say that? Real simple. First of all, Trump is getting ready to go to the Asia Pacific region. And unfortunately, that's not all that's going on. There's a whole lot more you don't see. So, let me get this tweet sent out. Yes, you can join me in the chat room. KLRNradio.com/chat. Come on, you got to know that one by now. So, yes, there's a lot going on. And like I said, and I've said before, you can join me in the chat room. Yes, at KLRNradio.com/chat. That is one of two ways to get in touch with me during a show. And the other would have to be tag me in a tweet. Yes, I do keep my Twitter notifications page open while I'm on air. What can I say? I gotta keep some way of communicating, because most of you don't seem to like to join me in the chat room. Cricket, cricket. Let's see if I got that one queued up. That is what the chat room sounds like tonight. I'm all alone. Now, there were a few people in there earlier, but I see they've already run for the hills. Al had to get back to work. Somebody else had to go help a kid with their homework. Haven't seen Ron lately. But maybe he'll surprise me and show up tonight. All right. Now, what you've all been waiting for. Actually, that's only half of it. Let me grab the other half. Yep, my show prep. And I do want to take a moment, despite not all of you hanging out with me in chat, I do know you're out there listening. I see the numbers. I do. I know you're out there. So I see the numbers. I know you're there. We've got a whole stack of stuff, but I'm going to start with the story I find the most disturbing. Now, there's nothing profane, there's nothing annoying about it. I do have a very long audio clip. It's almost 2 minutes in length, and I wouldn't normally be bothered with a 2-minute audio clip, but I think the topic of this clip should alarm journalists everywhere.
Can you elaborate on the story that BBC is now running with, that the management has complained to the UN and yourself directly about the harassment of BBC Persian service journalists, going after families, arrests, confiscation and of property, and what can you possibly do following this complaint?
All right, if you didn't get that, this is someone asking what the United Nations can do about a complaint by BBC Persian journalists. They're being harassed by the powers that be in Tehran, Iran. Now, these people are not just going after the journalists. They're going after their families, their friends, their neighbors, anybody that even acts kind to them.
So we did hear from the BBC about, and we've known about this for some time, but we had a formal complaint in which, exactly as you say, the restrictions on individuals associated with the BBC, so not just the BBC Persian service employees, but their families as well, have been under significant pressure over the last 6 to 9 months, perhaps even longer, for the content of their work, which is journalism. So we have raised our concerns in turn, as we do. The way it works is we will.
All right, so the UN isn't just trying to whitewash it and sweep it under the rug. They are actually going to talk to Iran. Now, do I think much is going to come of it? Probably not, but at least Iran knows someone's watching.
The way it works is we will communicate directly with the government, and we'll say something to the effect that, we're, without prejudice to the truth of these allegations, if they're true, we're very concerned. And we raised very serious concerns with the government just over the last couple of days. We urge the government of Iran to stop harassing the employees and the families of employees of the BBC Persian service, as well as other journalists. And I would say it's a very, very serious concern to us, in part because it's reflective of an overall pattern, but also because it's creating direct harm against individuals who are only trying to do their job, which is a job that is protected by international human rights law.
All right, so journalism is evidently protected by international human rights law. Learn something new every day. But we all know Iran wrote the book and or copied chapters from their good buddies, North Korea. So that's where I'm starting tonight. Tehran, Iran. And I'm just looking through my stack of show prep. You know me, I never have it all sorted out. Wouldn't be me if I had it all sorted. The House passed new sanctions on Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah in an effort to take a tough line against Tehran without immediately moving to undermine the international nuclear agreement. 3 Hezbollah-related measures passed by voice vote without opposition. All right. This is important. It's part of what you're not hearing. Everybody's so caught up in Twitter this, Twitter that, Trump this, Trump that. Well, in this case, Congress is actually doing something. And what they're doing is the House, at least, has moved to take actions against Iran that won't void the Iran nuclear deal. They just hit some of, well, hey, let's just say it as it is, Iran's terrorist groups. Because Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror. Yes, Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror. In fact, there has been many documented cases of Iran. Well, they literally wrote the book on evading UN sanctions. Now, I do have some articles from Press TV, which is Iranian news. And I am going to read some of them to you. The parts that are particularly troubling, I will make a point of telling you that it is from Press TV. The most recent one was Iran has sentenced to death an individual found guilty of cooperating with Israel's Mossad spy agency and providing information to it. This is a Swedish doctor. The spy has, the Swedish doctor, he's an academic, okay? Let's just face this. He's an academic, and trials in Iran are very little more than kangaroo court. Ahmed Draza was sentenced to death last Saturday and given, are you ready to hear how long he has to appeal his sentence? 20 days. Yeah. People talk about the death penalty here in this country. How much more screaming would there be if you had 20 days to appeal it? I know some people would actually like that, but others would be against it. And I'm not going to get into the death penalty here in the United States. Now, why he was arrested. Since 1990, let me get this printed out because I'm trying to read it off the screen and it's not working. I thought I'd be able to pull it off, but not so much. All right. Ahmadra Dajali was working in Iran in the field of natural and technology crisis management as a researcher, lecturer, and planner. His workplace was the Ministry of Health, then he moved to the Natural Disaster Research Institute. He did, however, have cooperation with multiple academic and research centers, affiliated to both military and civilian sectors. In 2008, he started studying at the PhD level at Karolinska Institute, Stockholm, Sweden. The acceptance speeches were issued by Dr. Gunnar Olin, who was then the head of the emergency medicine department. During the PhD study period, he was occasionally invited to Iran to give lectures, advise research projects, and provide consultancy to crisis management programs. In 2012, after receiving his PhD, I was in Iran. A person from a military center contacted me and offered me a proposal asking me to stay and join a military university in Iran, which is involved in passive defense and counterterrorism topics. I refused the suggestion and told him I would like to continue my career in the European Union as a postdoctorate fellow in crisis management. During a 2014 trip to Iran, two people from a military center and intelligence ministry met me. They asked me to cooperate with them and to gather information to spy from the European Union states, including their critical infrastructures, counterterrorism, and CBRN capabilities. That's their ability to defend against WMDs, folks. No joke. That is their ability to defend against WMDs. My answer was no, and told them I'm a scientist, not a spy. My scientific help to Iran's academic centers came from my love and commitment to my motherland. If you asked me to do something else such as spying, I would rather stop my cooperation with Iran. They asked me to forget the meeting and then end the offer. They assured me that there would not be any problem for me. I continued my cooperation with Iran's academic centers. A second event in autumn 2015, when I was again invited by the National Passive Defense Organization affiliated with the military of Iran to give a speech about health system resiliency, and then he was detained by the ministry and accused of acting against national security. They told him he had gathered a series of top secret and secret data about Iran's critical infrastructures, crisis management, passive defense systems, and projects, and have transferred them to Israel. They accused me of being the spy of Israel since 2008. And they told him that all of his studies and everything had been coordinated with Israel. He, of course, rejected the allegations. And his only fault, and these are his words, is that he did not use the trust of his colleagues and universities in the European Union to spy for Iran's intelligence services. He has been detained since April 2016, remaining in custody under threat of execution. He has not been allowed to meet with the Swedish ambassador in Iran, even while European Union ambassadors visited him in prison on July 20th. He was transferred to an isolation cell to prevent any possible meeting with them. He has been detained in a cell about 3.5 meters square, and he has been subjected to multiple psychological and physical tortures, threats, and humiliations. He has been forced to make false confessions, and he claims there are no documents and false reasons are given in his confessions. Let me tell you something, folks. You get tortured long enough or subjected to enough, you will say anything to make it stop. And I can see how that's what he wanted. He just wanted to make it stop and go home. Now his family will be lucky to receive his body. Iran is not known for cooperating on returning much of anything. He could be hanged or shot by a firing squad. Those are the two most common methods in Iran of execution. They don't have something as kind as lethal injection, although some people would say that's not kind. I've got to say, that it's one of those things that seriously makes me question any deal with Iran. When they treat journalists and scientists this way, now, of course, they claim he's a Mossad agent. Now, there was a professor, Ali Mohammadi, a lecturer at the University of Tehran, who was killed by an explosive-laden motorbike in Tehran. And the booby-trapped motorbike was blown with a remote-controlled device. I'm sorry, this man does not sound like any spy I've ever known. And of course, they're criticizing the 14 months he spent in the United States. Is this enough for you to want to tear up the deal with Iran? Because it makes me want to do one thing. Yep. All right, we are just a little bit past the bottom of the hour, which means only one thing. It is time to pay those radio station bills, so I will see you on the other side. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at POV.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Down if you wanna, you can run away if you wanna, you can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna, you can play dead if you wanna, forget what they said if you wanna, turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
Alright, thank y'all for hanging in there with me while I paid those radio station bills. And Doc, you really think you can handle POV? You really think you can handle POV? Yeah. Like the gift says, make me laugh. Yes, I'm sparring with Doc, aka Dr. Judy Elmore, via Twitter. So, what can I say? Told you you can get a hold of me by tagging me in a tweet while I'm on air. I will be taking a couple of days sort of off. I'm either going to have an evergreen episode or a pre-record. For the days where I'm gone. Don't worry, I wouldn't leave you high and dry. I will have episodes of Jesse's POV while I'm out of town. I have an obligation from a commitment that I have to handle that's been on my schedule for some time. Don't worry, you won't miss Jesse's POV. Maybe I can even talk Justin into showing up one of these nights. Or Todd, he'd be good too. But Doc? Really? Are you going to discuss the science behind the scientist that just got sentenced to death? I really don't know how that's going to work. So, yeah. And we're not discussing the science behind the death penalty, at least not on my show. All right. Back to my show prep. I've still got a ton of it. And you know there's one topic I can talk all night on that we haven't gotten to, and I'm actually trying to keep him off the show tonight because I have a feeling over the next couple weeks there'll be nothing but. A United Nations expert has already handled the Iran complaint with the BBC. Sorry, wrong article. The IRGC, Iran Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Yes. has denounced President Trump's policies as hostile and his insults against the Iranian nation, and vowed that the country will speed up its conventional missile program and regional role in response to, quote, enemy threats. Yes. The elite Iranian force further stressed, and this is an article from Press TV, so I'm going to put elite in quotes here. The Iranian force further stressed that the Islamic Republic's regional influence and missile program, which came to fruition under tough sanctions, will incessantly continue to expand. Okay, how many times have I said Iran wrote the book on evading sanctions? And now Iran and North Korea are trading partners. And we really don't think that Iran hasn't sent some of that money that President Obama provided them? Right on over to North Korea? Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. So, all I can say is, don't make me laugh. And of course they're going to continue building their missiles. Come on. Of course, Trump did use his October 15th speech when he refused to certify Iran's compliance with the nuclear agreement to authorize Treasury Department to further impose sanctions on the entire IRGC for its support in terrorism. Now, prior to Trump's speech, the chief commander of the IRGC, Major General Mohammed Ali Jafari, had said Iran would treat U.S. troops like Daesh terrorists. Translation, Iran's going to treat them as if they were no better than the terrorists we take out every day in the Middle East. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not how our troops should be treated. Now, Iran is a member of the United Nations. However, I'm not sure they're a reliable state actor. For those of you living under a rock, we are going to spend the last few minutes discussing You Know What Was Coming, North Korea. You know it was coming. Come on, have I recently done a show without it? I don't think so. Now, before we get to that, all incoming flights, there are new screenings for certain airlines that will take effect pretty much ASAP. And the article I've got from the AP, yeah, it's an AP one, says American and global airlines must comply. And there'll be, quote, security interviews from airline employees. The new rules were met with some confusion while 5 global long-haul carriers said they would begin the security interviews on Thursday. Each offered different descriptions of how the procedure would take place, ranging from a form travelers would be required to fill out to being verbally quizzed by an airline employee. Other carriers insisted their operations remain the same. Now, the security measures affect all individuals, international passengers, and U.S. citizens traveling to the United States from a last departure international location. And the rules come at the end of the 120-day window for new U.S. safety regulations to be implemented following the lifting of the laptop ban imposed on some airlines. Details in the new rules first became apparent in a statement by one airline which operates one of the busiest international airports in Dubai. Emirates Airlines said it would begin carrying out pre-screening interviews at check-in counters for passengers flying out of Dubai and at boarding gates for transit and transfer flyers. It urged those flying through Dubai International Airport to allow extra time for flight check-in and boarding. All right. This is not a bad idea, friends. If you have never flown El Al, the Israeli national airline, you have never met with true security. Okay? If you have never flown El Al, your bags are taken to the airport generally the night before if you're with a tour. When you at the airport, your checked luggage goes one way, your carry-on goes another. However, both are x-rayed with you standing right there. Oh yeah. So excuse me, Mr. Frog is trying to butt in. Alright, so El Al is one of the few airlines, if not the only one, that has never been hijacked. El Al is one of the most secure airlines. So being asked to fill out a form is nothing. Excuse me, one El Al flight has been hijacked, but there were no fatalities. Alright, so like I said, El Al is the flag carrier of Israel, and they have stringent security protocols. They have been named the most secure airline on more than one occasion. So if people are going to kvetch, El Al is considered the most secure airline in the world because it must be. And El Al carries about 3 million passengers a year and has a safety record traced directly through to tough security. If you're a passenger, you'll most likely be observed from the minute you left your car or have been dropped off, and then you'll have met the security agent before you go to check in for your flight. Every El Al passenger undergoes an extensive interview. They ask several questions such as who paid for the ticket, what's the purpose of your travel, did anybody have access to your bags before you arrived at the airport, and when did you book this flight? These people asking the questions are also trained to psychologically evaluate the passengers, looking for tone of voice, mood, and body language. If officials have any doubts, the passenger will not be allowed to board the plane. El Al planes are heavily guarded at all times, even during cleaning and maintenance. All El Al pilots are veterans of the Israeli Air Force and trained in handling weapons and hand-to-hand combat. They do not carry guns in the cockpit, but it has bulletproof doors activated by a keypad from inside. At least 2 air marshals undercover are on board every El Al flight. They sit among the passengers, and yes, if need be, they can kill you. You just don't want it to come to that, my friend. And Global Traveler magazine has named El Al the most secure airline on more than one occasion. And we're talking industry professionals that made that determination. So I'm going to say cope. Just cope. All right. North Korea nuclear tests could become even more terrifying. Yep, you finally heard the magic words. Just as a reminder,
between 1994 and 2008, North Korea did 16 ballistic missile tests and 1 nuclear test. Since January of 2009, they have done 71 missile tests, including 4 nuclear tests. The leader in North Korea has made no effort to have dialogue with any other country in the region, not just the United States, but that includes China, South Korea, Russia. Absolutely no interest in talking.
North Korea has no interest in talking. Yet, they are threatening an atmospheric nuclear test. Recent warnings from North Korea's foreign minister of a possible atmospheric nuclear test over Pacific waters should be taken seriously. And that is from a North Korean official. The foreign minister is very well aware of the intentions of our supreme leader. So I think you should take his words literally. And that is Ri Yong-pil, a senior diplomat in North Korea's foreign ministry. Now, you have to realize, the last thing I want to see is war on the Korean Peninsula. That is the last thing. I don't think anybody wants war on the Korean Peninsula. There is not 1. There is not 2. There are now 3 aircraft carrier strike groups in the Asia-Pacific region. The Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group, the Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group, and now the Nimitz are all in the Asia Pacific region. 2 usually meant we were about to engage in combat operations. I have no idea what 3 means, except hang on to your hats and buckle your seatbelts. Now, Trump has been asked whether he's going to visit the DMZ, and his response was a nice enigmatic, "I'd rather not say, but you'll be surprised." Now, I have seen that he isn't, I have seen that he is. So I'm just going to say he's going to be in Korea on November 7th and 8th. Now, Secretary of Defense Mattis has said that we do have military options, but everyone is out for a peaceful resolution. But I do want to remind you of 2 things. Yes, I am pulling up the audio clips. Yes, if you're a regular listener, you have heard them before. But I am working on finding them, because even you have no idea the depth of my North Korea audio clips library. Here it is.
He's on right now, which is further development of intercontinental ballistic missiles and nuclear capability. And to me, it makes all the sense in the world to prove the theory of the case and to work this for a few more months.
That was Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dunford. Work this for a few more months. That clip is a few months old. I don't know how to say this, but all I can say is this is going to be interesting. Okay? Now I want to remind you about one other clip.
Many people, and this is an important point, many people have talked about military options as with words like unimaginable. And I would probably shift that slightly and say it would be horrific. And there would be a loss of life unlike any we have experienced in our lifetimes. And I mean, anyone who's been alive since World War II has never seen the loss of life that could occur if there's a conflict on the Korean Peninsula. But as I've told my counterparts, both friend and foe, it is not unimaginable to have military options to respond to North Korean nuclear capability. What's unimaginable to me is allowing a capability that will allow a nuclear weapon to land in Denver, Colorado. That's unimaginable to me.
And I have a feeling that that opinion has not changed. One more.
During his despotic regime, Kim Jong-un has tested more missiles than his father and grandfather combined. And he's on a record pace to conduct more tests in 2017 than in any other year. In fact, the July 4th ICBM launch by North Korea was his 10th ballistic missile test event this year.
All right, that was back in July 10. All right, folks, I am almost out of time, so I want to take a moment and thank all of you for listening, whether you listen live or via Memorex. I appreciate you listening. Yes, you tune in every night to hear me play Connect the Dots. North Korea and Iran are trading partners. Iran wrote the book on evading sanctions, so I don't think sanctions are going to work no matter what we do. On that fact, I agree with the Russians. Just as a reminder, you can follow me on Twitter at Jesse's POV. You can always catch me on iTunes, iHeart, Google Play, SoundCloud, and many other locations. Regulars, you know what's coming. New listeners, buckle your seatbelts, because I'm out of here!